Hello, everyone. Welcome to our When Women Write ebook launch. Thank you for your patience as we were getting ready to go live from our studio. My name is Christina Thatcher, and I'll be hosting this event today. I'm so pleased that we're going to be coming together from Wales and Zimbabwe, and we may have audiences from across the world as well. So as we are getting ready and people are starting to come in, you are very welcome to post a comment on our YouTube page, maybe say hello or say where you are from. So if you write in the comments on YouTube, we will be able to see here in the studio what is being shared, which is wonderful. So please feel free to say hi over on our YouTube page as the launch goes on, and please feel free to comment on some of the poems that we're going to be sharing. So I am one of the facilitators of the When Women Write project, but I'm only one part of this team, so I'll be introducing my two other partners in a moment. Throughout this launch, you'll be seeing recordings from the young women who took part in this project, as well as 2 live performances. If you would like closed captioning, you should be able to look at the bottom of the screen, and there should be a little CC. So if you want some subtitles for the poems that are being read, please feel free to click that. But I think without further ado, I am going to introduce the wonderful Goddess, who is a partner on this project with me, who is going to tell you a little bit more about the When Women Write project and the ebook that we're launching today. So please welcome Goddess to our stage.
Hi there, everyone. As Krishna said, my name is Goddess, and I'm one of the partners and facilitators in this project, which is called When Women Write. So, When Women Write was we started it because there was a great need. Not was actually, there still is. There was a gap within the writing sector, or where women's writing is concerned. So have always wanted to do that, because as a writer growing up in my home area of Urungwe district, there were not many opportunities. There still are not many opportunities for women's writing. So when I saw, the British Council advertising, for a collaborative project, I knew this was our time. And that's when I decided to look for, obviously, because it's a collaborative project, I had to look for a world organization to work with. And I'm glad I had very positive 2 responses, and we ended up working with Dr. Christina Thatcher, who was talking to you just now, and Dr. Kate North, both from Cardiff Met University. And I think it's been a very good match. We then did 10 online sessions on different kinds of writing, including short stories, poetry, stand-up poetry, hybrid writing, place writing, a lot of fun stuff. I mean, it was a learning process for all of us, including the facilitators ourselves. It was a lot of fun, and then in the end, we asked our writers, who are both from Wales and Zimbabwe, to write something that we could publish, and then we worked on them. I think Kate will talk more about how she was fine-tuning their submissions, and then here we are. We now have a fully published book. Thanks a lot to Christina's work on that, and then they're going to be reading out to you their poems, and I really fell in love with most of those poems, and the passion that was, put in reading those poems. You can say it. You can see it's a lot of there's a lot of passion there. So our project, I don't know if I'd said this before, it's a writing project, but it's writing to empower, our young women, because there's a lot of emotions that are in there, and there's a lot of talent, a lot of stories that our young women have, and we needed them to go out to draw them out of themselves, through writing, and it is a very empowering process. And I'm very happy, and I'm very proud of our writers today. Yeah, I think I'll get back to you, Christina. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Goddess. That's brilliant. I'm going to hand over to Kate, who's also going to talk a little bit about her experience on the project as well.
Thanks, Goddess, and thanks, Christina. Yeah, it's been a joy for me to work on this project. I found it a truly inspirational and privileged thing. Yeah. So, as has already been said, I'm Kate North, and I'm from Cardiff Metropolitan University, where I teach creative writing with Christina. And I came in at the editorial stage, so Goddess and Christina had delivered all these writing sessions online for the women and girls in Wales and Zimbabwe. And then at the end of those sessions, they were then invited to send their writing to me. And I was the plan was that I would work with them on improving their writing, giving them some editorial advice, tips, ideas about how what they'd written could be developed. And a lot of people did send their work to me via email, and in and of itself, that was like a big thing to do. They hadn't met me and sending their work. Who was I? And I wasn't someone who had taught them, and I provided feedback, and most of this had to be done via email because of network and Wi-Fi issues. And again, that's quite a big thing to open oneself up for editorial sort of criticism in a way that's you can't meet face to face. And I was really sort of pleasantly surprised and impressed by the way that the women and girls actually responded. Everyone who engaged in the editorial process, um, they all made changes that improved their writing in some way. Some of them are small changes, some of them big changes, phraseology, changing titles, adding more detail, removing stuff. Um, but everyone put in a lot of effort to make sure that their writing was the best it could possibly be. And some of the things I was struck by with the writing was the universality of a lot of what people were writing about, and you'll hear more about that in a minute when everyone does their readings. But it seemed to me that the women and girls were writing about really important things that get to the heart of what it means to be a female in the 21st century. And yes, some of them were painful, some of them were highly emotional, and other things are very uplifting and beautiful. And it was just a joy to see people having a voice and really sort of speaking in that voice. Yeah, so I'm just very pleased to be here, and I can't wait to hear the readings. I'll hand back over to Christina now.
Thank you so much, Kate. That was absolutely wonderful. So yeah, as Kate and Goddess said, it's been such a privilege to be part of this When Women Write project, especially since this whole year that we've been doing it. A lot of us have been in lockdown, and there's been a global pandemic, and so this sort of sense of isolation and being isolated from each other was really high. So it was such a privilege to log on to our Google Classroom and to talk and discuss writing with each week together. This ebook that we're launching today is a real demonstration of the creativity, strength, power, pain, love from all of the participants on this project. Not every one who attended our workshops chose to submit work, but I think you'll agree when you see the readings that we have today that really this ebook represents their collective power and sense of womanhood, and also represents their collective creativity. So I have the great joy of introducing our first 5 readers, and we have chosen to record the poems from each reader. So I will play recordings from each reader in my set before we go on to see a live performance from our first feature, Rufus Mufasa. So our first participant, I think aptly, is the one who opens our book. Her name is Ano Kalari, and she will be reading Our Heritage.
Our heritage, the majestic, gigantic falls, the smoke that thunders. With 3 arms is the falls of Mosiatunya, a blessing stretched to us by the Creator. The mysterious wonder, the world's largest sheet of falling water. Plenty of wild animals call it home, with colorful birds twittering in the leafy jacaranda trees. Scented it is every season, with the sweet, fruity, minty smell and the citrus scent rushing and wafting in the forest. Rains bless the area with lush greenery, the only place on earth to see rain every single day of the year, for it to be stored in the mighty Limpopo.
Thank you so much, Otto. I hope you were watching that. So we were so grateful to have this poem open our collection. It gave us a sense of culture and heritage and places in Zimbabwe. So it really put our two countries in communication with each other. Our next poem is representing another type of theme that we came across a lot in this collection, which is the theme of identity and who we are. So this poem is called Lion, and it is by Daisy Nanzumba.
Of strength, power is where it belongs. When I walk the bow down before me, I am the king of the jungle. When I say something, I don't need discussions. My words are final. All my orders are supposed to be followed without questioning. I am the ruler. When someone goes against my words, I don't strike on the back but at the front. Mercy is not my thing. I am ruthless. I don't associate with unproductive people. Everything of mine is private. I don't believe in friendship. I'm a destroyer. When I'm angry, everyone gets sleepless nights. The ground even shakes. I don't forgive. I am the jaguar. Losing is not my thing. I confront everybody. I destroy. I don't leave any mark. I am fierce. I don't smile. I make sure no one notices my smile. I was born like that. I am the king.
Thank you so much, Daisy, for that powerful poem about lionhood and identity and strength. The next reader that we have for you is Olivia Mabhugu, and she is reading a poem entitled Orphanhood, Orphanhood, Orphanhood.
Orphanhood, orphanhood, orphanhood. Who is going to be my pillar of strength? Who is going to wipe my tears? I am now like the Israelites in Egypt, treated like a slave, insulted as if I participated in the death of my dear parents. Dressed in rags always, my mouth is now a dry donga, dry as a bone and parched with hunger, envying my mates returning home from school, speaking English like a white man. Parental love is seldom showered to me. When I suffer from fever, no one lifts an eyebrow. They treat me worse than a wild dog. My mother passed away. My paternal grandparents were my pillar of strength. Little did I know that the Almighty had a plan. Sooner than expected, grandfather was no more. As if that was not enough, my grandmother breathed her last breath this year. Whom have I offended on earth? Why am I the one to suffer the bitterness drugs of death? What agonies my spirit are the memories. Tears can be wild, but memories will never. Death pierces my heart with a hot iron. Who am I going to tell my problems? Being an orphan becomes worse than a Eugene. Those with surviving parents show them love. Once they expire, you regret for sure. Honor them, love them, make them feel special. If the Supreme Being had not invented my dear mother and caring grandparents, I could have stuffed them with love and affection, while they shoot their child like a mother hen. When I think about my dearest ones lost, I cry until I feel an ocean. But where should I torment their souls? Surely death is inevitable. Let their souls rest in eternal peace.
Oh, I'm sure that you all agree that that reading was so incredibly powerful. Thank you, Olivia, for that poem, which explores orphanhood and loss. Next up, we have another poet Ina Makande, who is also writing a bit about family, and this is called I Need You.
I heard them laughing it out, taking it out. I heard them claiming their breaks, saying their vows. I heard them saying they love them inside and out. And I heard them and I'm hating because I never know what they're talking about. They walk as a pair, handling each other. Don't I deserve it? Sisterhood. I needed her, a sister, a shoulder to lean on. In my mind, the words were, I need you. The question was, don't I deserve it? Sisterhood.
Oh, Ina, thank you so much. This sense of sisterhood runs through our collection and the importance of that connection. You do deserve it. So powerful. Thank you for that, Ina. Okay, so the last reader in this set is Soulless Zuna, and she's going to be reading two powerful pieces. The first is called My Cross, and the second is My Will, Our Strength.
My cross. Embodied in black diamonds, cutting across from shoulder to shoulder. The curse of being me debilitates. Contained within a titanium cage, sealed with thorns of lies, electroplated in hatred and injustice. Every day I die a little more inside. I no longer have the strength to carry my cross. The burden of being me is slowly swallowing all my willpower. I am drowning in a whirlpool of my own emotions. Stuck in a tornado of anxiety, depression has made itself my tail. I no longer know what my bright smile looks like. All the world sees when they look at me is a powerhouse. But I also need someone to carry this cross for me. Where will I hide when I'm being haunted from every corner of the earth? I wish I could bury myself in feathers. Who will carry my cross for me? My will, our strength. Though it seems like the tide is always high, the storm is always moving, so is my will. My desire and our passion for the truth is what is going to make this a success. Though they keep trying to keep us down, my will will outpower their wickedness. We, after all, are warriors of the sun. Every day, tears are being shed, but no eye pays attention. They rain their parade over our sorrows. They build their empires from the blood, sweat, and hard work of all those below them. Every day we put forward our plea, but it seems our voices are oppressed before they can even reach the air. Sometimes I wish we had wings and fly away from what we know is our lives. Every day dreams are being sold to us and we're expected to agree as if we are guard dogs. But who dares to try to raise their voice from oppression? Who dares to give themselves freely to martyrdom? Who wants to be the voice of the voiceless? Are they just mere impossible dreams? Or my will outstrength, or my will and our strength will overpower the wicked? The world used to fear that our strength and will was too great, but now, will it be enough? Is it going to be done, or we will perish like our forefathers before us? Only time will tell. All we can do is have faith and never lose hope. The spark will never die down, only be weakened. But for now, my will overcome darkness and will bring forth a change.
Oh, Solace, what a fantastic way to end our first set. Just exploring the kind of crosses that we must carry and also the will of women and their strength. Your words were so moving and so powerful. And I love that final line about you bringing forth change and the importance of that. So thank you, Solace, if you're listening. That was fantastic. So I hope you all enjoyed seeing our first set of readers. Thank you for all of your wonderful comments. I see lots of love coming in through the chat, so I really appreciate that, and I know all of our participants do as well. So now I'm going to be introducing our first live performer, Rufus Mufasa. I met Rufus a few years ago here in Wales, and I just fell in love with her work and her passion. So I'm going to read to you her bio, but I know that she is going to be speaking even beyond the wonderful achievements that are here. So, literary activist Rufus Mufasa is a pioneering participatory artist who advocates hip hop education and poetry development accessible to all. Lyricist, rapper, and performance art poet with an MA in script writing, Rufus is a Hay writer at work, supports several intergenerational projects, mentors men at Park Prison, and is planning her 4th visit to Finland, where she recently headlined the Helsinki Literature Festival. As well as being the first Welsh artist to perform in the Ruas Rock Festival, she mentors Finnish beat poets and now writes trilingually as a result. I know that you will love Rufus and her work, and I'm so grateful to her, not just for coming to read today, but also for introducing us to so many wonderful participants from Wales who took part in this project. So please help me welcome Rufus to our stage. Oh, Rufus, you might be on mute.
That was good actually, because I just went, oh my gosh, you can see my boots because I've been kicked out of my bedroom, so I had to find another zone in the house.
Oh, don't worry. It's wonderful to have you here. Thank you for coming.
So much. I would just like to say thank you, all of you, and especially Zimbabwe. I feel like I had an amazing kind of training before we kind of went into the global pandemic in 2020, and there was a piece of work that I created especially for the DigiPoems project called A Prelude to Isolation, which then became the beginning of a play, which I recently just did in Chapter Arts with support from Experimentica. So I think I'm going to share a little bit, an extract of that with you today, if that's okay, just to see how my engagement with you all influenced my work so much. But I'm going to start with a piece called Llawrygani yn y Famiaith, which I wrote for a podcast called Clara. It's in Welsh language, and it is a chant, a call to arms, and I really would like to give a nod to Joelle Taylor and congratulate her on the T.S. Eliot Prize. Joelle has done phenomenal work for decades with young people, has inspired people to write. It's kind of identifying our bodies as a battleground and our work being a protest for change. So this and a lot of things that you've talked about just now with the hybridity. So I'm going to honour Joelle, and I'm going to honour the Welsh language, and I'm going to honour hybridity and how spoken word language is changing because of people like her. Ymateb trauma, aros yn ddistawn pan fydden yn eich datgymalu, pob can a ganodd eich calon, aeth o phob medal ryfel i'r dyn gwislo. Ymateb trauma, adeiladu chi'n yn ôl I fyny heb dwyllo. Heb dwyllo, ymddiried yn y karma, bydd nosweithiau o whisky vintage teithio amser gwactod gofod, byddwch chi'n dawnsio gyda'ch cythreiliaid i'r tracsain Mary J. Blige, no more drama. No more drama, denim double, paint ryfel, cluslasau massif, creadigrwydd cyson, osgoi artistig, micro-macro, torcalon cyfannol, nid yw'r un camgymeriadau yn gwneud canlyniadau wahanol. Wahanol, rwy'n chwarae gwydbwyll gyda chyngor o wrachod doeth, maent y Llawrygani yn y Famiaith, siant y nafol sy'n swnio fel y tonau sy'n canu o adref. Adref, ni allwch dychwelu'r fy nghot wnaeth o eich dwyn, mae eich ansicrwydd yn ceisio difetha fy ysgleirio, trwch fi yn dillian cyn caniatau rydyd i mi ddewis. I don't know where the pram's gone. Maybe it's kind of... Oh, bydde by the lamp. Adref, ni allwch dychwelyd fy nghot gwnaeth o eich dwyn. Mae eich ansicrwydd yn ceisio dyfethaf yn esgleirio. Trowch fi yn dylluan cyn caniatau rydyd i mi ddewis. Rydyd i mi ddewis, ffiniau, terfyniau, cydsyniad, diogelwch, codi credwch, ymateb trauma, llosgi ei llyfrau reolau mewn seremeuon cysygredig, cenwch yn y blaendrwch, iamdal o daliad a dennill ei lle yn fiand ymdrian dychmygwch. Mae ein merched yn haeddi heddwch. With a little bit of improv from Alice. If the plague has taught us anything, is that we don't know when our children are going to walk in. So yes, thank you. That was Llafrgani, chanting in the mother tongue. That was called. So I am going to jump in to this play, and I'm not quite sure where we are going to start, but we are going to give it a go. There's a lot of baby dolls in the background joining in too. I have tried to bribe them upstairs with sweets, but here we are. Baby Cinderella's joining in. Okay, right. Yeah, we'll try here. Oh, also for this, I would like to give a thanks out to Oriel Gallery and Jill Teague and Literature Wales, because they ran some creative sessions which enabled me to spend some time on my writing, and I can't not thank them for this. Can you be quiet a minute, Alice, because I gotta read my work. Is that okay? We'll try. Mountain, sea, bird, rock, solidarity, solitary, tree, forest, lake, garden, peace, path, edge, choose three. I know their palettes like I made them. Rusty, rustic, charred crystal, blurred borders, big brilliance, backdrop at the edge of my garden. I surrendered that day to the Tonai Crif Ysgafn, to the clarity of the Queen. Baptize me in your name, resurrect maiden mother crone. Take everything back, every train ride made of 10 tracks, every conductor that tried to throw me off, especially the Swedish one who left me with no choice but to curse. I'm searching for the words to tell you of the tale where we, my girls and I, that summer, picnicking on yoga mats by the patio doors when the birds came to watch us. I need to tell you about their school at the bottom of our road, on the network of wires, birds waiting for the bus, just like us, waiting for our wings to kick in, learning the significance of the pause. We just started getting it all wrong. Babies born, placentas binned, biological hazards, no more trees planted to connect us with homes, stardust, ancestors, angels. This also limits our travel, suppresses our remembrance of Starseed mission, and the whole entire thing started to become one big intergalactic mess. But as an adoptive with third year listening, I had an oak. As big as 10 double-decker buses that held my childhood, stood stern and strong for my schooling, ever ready to take me back to the ancients, back to Egypt, back to basics, back to back in my dirtiest wars, old oak still standing. We'd started forgetting the pilgrimages, stopped visiting the bones of elders, stopped honouring resting places of the dead. That's why I love elephants, because they have ethics. They mourn in motion. They find peace in pathways. They mother together. Together they try. With elephant in my totem, I take my cubs on a quest for old oak, for the lands that held me, to catch glimpses of the elders, because they are daughters of the mountains, these slag heaps, those birds. No man's name should ever drive your destiny. Old oak is our father, and he has called us home. So I don't know if I'm okay for time. If anybody wants to give me a signal when time is up, please do so. That would be great. I'm going to read something from, quickly, if I've got time, from the book Flashbacks and Flowers. Shout out to, sorry about the baby babbling in the background.
Mommy.
Yeah, babes?
My crawling baby wants to be with you.
Can you take the crawling baby to see what's happening next door in the new room? See if she can find me some treasure. Go on.
Okay, let's go.
Thank you. Okay. yeah, Flashbacks and Flowers, published by Indigo Dreams. You can find that through them, Indigo Dreams, or I think maybe just ask them in a bookshop. And if you guys want me to send some over, I can do that. Also, or my website, rufusmufasa.com. Thanks to Bill Taylor Beals for helping me sort that out and making me feel like an adult. I've got a new kitchen sink and tiles and a website, so I am adulting.
Some treasure for you.
I'm going to need much more treasure than that. Can you go and find some? Oh, that's lovely. That's lemon multi-surface cleaner. Okay, can you go find me some more treasure? Right, let's go.
No, I don't wanna.
Okay, listen to my poem then. And last one now, I think, anyway. Okay, I've got time. Great, thank you. So this is homage to the poem I'm going to read, Joelle Taylor, about making noise, about getting the invisible into the spaces, into the pages, and thank you. That's great. Oh, Theo's got some treasure. He'll find treasure with you. And I've got a problem with my eye since Friday, like a weird thing happened to my eye. It's not contagious though. Battle rapper in the boardroom. 1. She says my words are black. She likes to keep things white. She has shh in her backstory, so she thinks this makes her right. She has a blacklist sword on standby. Fetch the cheese board for her inner toad that keeps the kingdom. Don't defy Dylan's Duchess. And the trap trauma of my tribe, second class stamp this SOS. Allowed in her courtyard if offering up ribs. I make arrows from refrain with ink caps that can't forgive. 2. This week I learned critique from masters that don't leave feedback sheets. I seek CPD on the daily. And my home needs me. Whitewash operation thriving. But I'm a blagger without blinkers. Literary activism happens with refrain. And tears carry keys if you taste them. 3. They cut out her throat. Her tongue wasn't enough. They rationed her ink, blacklist built guts. They tarnished her skill. They soiled her song. Didn't need money, just light sauce in souls. But hers has a blue egg, placed there by a witch. When magpies spy shine, the crows congregate. The crows congregate. Dogs know she sees them. Cash Coolidge schooled. Dysfunctional prenups, but she seeks and speaks truth. 4. Radical clique bypassing gatekeepers, take our communities back to campfires. You are obstructing my view of the universe, 1 foot on the pavement, pen ready. Cliche can't predict the weather, but you can't control it either. So let the spirits dance in this strangled prose of a hybrid. I'll finish with Barley Miner. So Barley Miner was a bird that I got really obsessed with when I was in Indonesia. I've become quite obsessed with birds in general. I think this might have actually been a starting point. So Barley Miner. My people were a stocky sort, both sexes, big-breasted, their tips tattooed black. My people loved the rain, raised me to nurse, raised both sexes to service the nest. My people's dialects change rapidly with distance. We learn more when our call types are different. My people sing old hymns with new hearts, but we are worth more to you, Caged. Thank you. And I just would love to say that this is such a beautiful project, and I've loved hearing about your journey, and your poems are just so exquisite. And thank you so much for inviting me back to share this sharing with you all. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Rufus. I'm giving you a little clap because I know that everybody else is going to be also clapping in their homes. I so appreciate it hearing your work. It's beautiful and resonant and transforming as always. You've had some amazing comments in the chat too. And it was also just so perfect to hear your little ones in the background and to think about all the things that we juggle as women and sort of the legacy of that and what that means for us as writers. And I have to say, it was really wonderful to hear you calling upon and dedicating and giving gratitude to other female writers for all of that they have done, because we work together to kind of build each other up, and kind of carrying those conversations is so important. So thank you for that, and for that wonderful reading. It was just, yeah, it was glorious.
Yeah, I just hope that the simplified stuff added to it rather than ruined it. But it is what it is, isn't it? We live in a very time. So, yeah, thank you all for
Yeah,
bearing with me.
it definitely added. So thank you for that.
Real life.
Wonderful. So I'm going to be bringing in Goddess now, because she is going to introduce the next set of our participants' readings. So, Goddess, welcome to the stream. I think you'll need to unmute.
All right. Let me just position myself. Yeah, you can see Kim right there at the back. So yeah, our next set of poems, they share more or less the same themes. They're talking about hurt. They're talking about just being almost hopeless with what the world has become. So yeah, so you're gonna expect that's sort of heartbreak, that sort of hunger and strife that's in their lives that they're facing, because I believe that people write what what they know of, what they see. So I'm positive that our writers here were writing about things that are probably going on in their communities, and these are stories that are really you feel them, they pull your heartstrings. So without much ado, I'm gonna introduce our first one, who's Precious. She talks. Your poem is called "Death Sentence," and she talks about AIDS and how the people close to her are leaving her, and all because of AIDS, and how But she ends on a positive note, which is really good, on how people can access treatment, and how pregnant mothers can protect their babies. So yeah, Precious Kupara is my first
Being
poem
our mothers
today.
and fathers, taking them to unknown world, you have caused the pain, unending pain. You have become a dangerous illness, leaving us with no companions at all. AIDS, you are a brutal killer. Hope is still there. Early treatment is encouraged. Pregnant mothers can protect their unborn child by mother-to-child prevention, and there is still hope for another life. Prevention is better than cure.
Okay, thanks there, Precious. We're gonna move on to our next poet, who's Princess Masuku. So Princess read about a love story, rather it's a heartbreak that she faces. So there's a lot of hurt that you feel in the poem. And then the poem itself is called "Maybe We Should Share the Same Scars." She talks of being taken for granted. Yeah, so you, here we go, Princess Masuku for you.
You would go an extra mile just to keep me in denial. You monopolized my attention, made me your distraction while we chase after your obvious attractions. Then made me stupid for thinking otherwise. I wish I could never ask. But how can I when you're always here with me? I want to be free from you and your savages. Every night I sleep, squeezing my tears back and hope that you don't hear their whispers as they burst out to my pillow, drowning the question that my heart would never ask. Till finally slips the cracks on my walls that you made. I wish I treated you with the same regard that you do. I wish I'll never live with your heart, but at least we'd share the same sky.
Okay, thank you, Princess, for your poem. Maybe we should share the same scars. Yeah, I think the title itself even says it all. So I'm going to move on to my next poet, who is called More Blessing. So here it's called "I Dreamt a Better World." She's sort of really just disappointed with what the world has begun, how dreary and grey our world has begun. She talks of the rot of our modern world. And she talks of the hunger, the crime, the voicelessness, and the inequality. So yeah, let me not preempt it. And let us listen to Mo blessing herself.
I dreamed a better world. I dreamed a better world, a world where no rat enjoys venom, a world where no student's life is being borrowed, a world where no children's growth is being retarded, a world without any greedy. I dreamed a better world, a world where there is hardly any hunger and thirsty, a world where no one demands power but demands to be seen by the public side. A world where no one is denied a voice, a world without any crime. I dreamed a better world, a world full of light and life, a world where everyone could cooperate with each other, a world everyone is treated equal, a world where parents give love and affection to their children, a world full of justice.
No, thanks a lot, Mo blessing. Let me move on to our next poet, Tanaka Marunje. She talks of gender-based violence. She talks about how the hurt it brings, how it destroys our society. So the poem itself is gender-based violence. So let's listen to Tanaka, please.
Wake up, Africa, and abate gender-based violence. She has lost the abundance of peace that flowed in her veins. They say there is freedom of speech, but now one can hardly find freedom after speech. The resurrection of the old tragedy of abuse. Spousal killing is increasing, so wake up, Africa, and abate gender-based violence. We no longer have any place to hide. Who shall get us out of bondage, out of our total despair? Fear we have is because we once knew freedom and peace. The neighbor that you are, you watch them being abused. You lie idle, all in the fear of being labeled as a worm breaker. A worse scenario might happen, so wake up, Africa, and abate gender-based violence. Shining and glowing skin she possessed. A lovely African beauty she was, but made it all fall into the pits of history. Your pride, dignity, and self-esteem was vandalized by what he knows best, abuse. Wake up, Africa, and abate gender-based violence. Her face knit with indignation. She feels so betrayed. Her source of protection is turned into a source of pain. Do not be shocked at the concealed misery in her misty brown eyes. She is a stranded figure, a survivor, but she won't survive this massive heart attack this time. So wake up, Africa, and abate gender-based violence. A ray of hope she is. She believes that a fellow gender is never disinclined to accept her into their hearts, for she has become a massive threat to him. If she gets support, she will shoot to life again, for she still has the roots. She will become a lady of power, and the world of affluence will never be new to her. Save a life. Wake up, Africa, and abate gender-based violence. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Tanaka. You can feel the passion there, and there are lines that are so powerful in the poem. Like when she says, "Women and girls no longer have any place to hide." Well done, Tanaka. Now we'll move on to Theon Weston, one of our Welsh writers, and a poem is called Pink Sky. It starts as a good love story. Everything is going well. There's laughter, there's love, but in the end, our writer feels like she's not happy. She wants to be spit out. She actually says those words. She's hoping to be spit out so that she can come out happier. Let's listen to Theon.
A shade of pink in the sky reminded me of the summer nights. The nights we spent watching the flames of our love start to kindle, just like the fire before us. I thought I'd never see it again, laughter. But the way you joked and made fun, I felt it in that moment, and I welcomed it, with caution. But now I see that the caution was not needed, that the feeling would swallow me whole and spit me out. Happier person. Thank you.
All right, thanks very much. Was I muted, Christina, when the last time I talked?
No, you are absolutely fine.
Did you hear what I said after Tanaka's poem?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did. You gave a great introduction to Fion's piece, so all was
Oh,
good
all
from
right.
our side.
Okay, all right. I was worried that maybe you guys didn't hear anything. So we're done, right? With my set of poems. Did I miss anyone?
No, you did brilliantly. That was all of our second sets, but I'll leave you to introduce our special live guest.
All right. Thank you for that. So as you can see, I'm with her right now. She so her name is Afro Poetic Mind. So she's a real name though is Kimberly Rumbizaimabika. She's a former television personality, was born and bred here in Harare in Zimbabwe. So she became known as Afro Poetic Mind, an Afrocentric, passionate, free speaker and songwriter. I think she says the same with Rufus. Must be a musician, if I'm not mistaken, as well, and who find strength in your voice and on paper, telling stories through poetry and song for the voiceless. So her life does not only revolve around poetry and arts. Afro is also a women's rights activist. She's a clothing designer. You should see what she's wearing now. She's like looking amazing. She made what she's wearing now. I'm gonna order something before she leaves home for home. And then she's an emerging businesswoman, exponentially growing your own branding company in a male-dominated world. Those were her words. So I'm just gonna give you this time. Please listen to her. She's an amazing poet. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Thank you so much for having me on this platform. So just to reintroduce myself, this is what I always do before I perform. So my name is Afro Poetiq Mind, and I am a wordsmith. So by a wordsmith, basically, I smelt letters to extract your attention from mental agitation. So thank you so much for inviting me on this platform. I'm super excited. Thank you so much, Goddess, for having me. And I'm also excited to see some of the young girls. You know, it's very inspiring to see young girls actually pursue poetry as an art form, especially here in Zimbabwe. You find that it's something where parents are so much into kids getting more, you know, educated and, you know, becoming accountants and doctors and everything of that sort. And so actually having young girls coming through and joining the arts circle and expressing themselves through poetry is pretty inspiring. So the first piece that I'm going to be doing today is titled Black. So I was listening to what Rufus was saying, and you know, one of her pieces is part of a play. And so this piece that I'm going to be doing today, which is called Black, is also part of a play that I am doing. And so I hope you enjoy. The horizon separates each toxic feeling. You call it love, but I feel it is poison. It seems antagonistic bricks have merged to build up a marriage, breathing in the same air, yet burping out different sentences. Scribbled, robbed, and constructed, structured according to the pictures painted by the difference between the sky and the moon, the sun, and Mars. Your jokes of former delicacy, spoiled by your loud mouth full of ecstasy, dangerous, yet I am so addicted. Soaked, wet, marinated in your darkest demons, hormones break loose as I lay in reminiscence of those days you serenaded me sweet pieces. Those days I could watch your lavish lips play around with your tongue all night long, listening to you chant fake spells as you tried to enchant and entice me into believing we were a match made in heaven. Now I am yours. You have become so hard on me like a jawbreaker. And that Alone is a deal breaker. You forget I am woman. I have my human needs that need to be satisfied. Your hands created to caress my body. I say it because I have felt them many times before, yet now you leave me to quench my thirst through imagining what could have been. As you speak, the pervert in me unwraps this annoying aluminium foil covering your strong, dark chocolate chest. Impatient or estrogen takes my eyes into the fifth dimension where my sixth sense is switched on and I begin to see through your clothes. I tear them off you. You tear mine garments off me. Mine garments and yours garments fuse. Then I crawl back into reality, settle uncomfortably in this insanity where I have to purchase free satisfaction from my own man. In the eyes of many and holy matrimony, you and I became man and wife. In the eyes of mosquitoes in our bedroom, I became one with the double-minded one. A man indecisive, struggling to choose between a black tie and a black and white bow tie. Before your eyes, I calm down on my knees, mine eyes tearless as your merciless hands has absorbed them all, begging, pleading, giving you valid reasons why you should sign these divorce papers. Now, as I scrutinize you, feeling the shock inside you, it bounces me back to where we first begun, back to where we are now. And for a while now, I thought that my decision to leave you was going to take me straight into heaven. But now that my vision has come to life, I'm seeing that life without you is hell. But I would rather be in hell away from you than be in it because of you. I would rather protect myself from the one God assigned to protect me. You know, God was not wrong to give you I, and I was not wrong to give you my all, but you were never satisfied. So just sign the damn papers and let me go. Thank you. So that is my first poem. Thank you so much. Right. So the next piece that I am going to do is titled Bipolar Love. So I know throughout the pieces that I'm going to be doing, it's going to be a collection of things that seem like toxic. But those are some of the things that us as women are facing. And the first piece that I did, I actually wrote it when I was around 17. And so it was that thing whereby I was just looking at my surroundings and hearing some of the stories that, people talk about. And so because I was noticing that a lot of women are actually going through a lot of these things. Let me tell the story. And so the next piece that I'm going to be reciting is called Bipolar Love. So bipolar love, as you know, bipolar, that thing whereby, if I'm not mistaken, you have two emotions at the same time. You're happy, you're sad, you're going through, you're doing this, you're doing that, at the same time. And so my piece is titled Bipolar Love, because of the kind of love that goes on. So I'm going to do a little bit of singing, but I don't practice my voice. So if it doesn't come out, please focus on how good the lyrics are. Okay. Some days I wake up and I love you. Some days I wake up and I hate you. Some days I wake up and I can't stand you. Some days I wake up and I need you. You inspired that bipolar, 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 bipolar love. I cannot restore pieces of a broken me. 1,000 have fallen into the cracks, creating paths into my red creek. Some have fallen under the soils of your psychological fastness. We are two souls with 4 broken wings. Yours were broken before. Mine were fractured by you. But we sacrifice to shadow each other while we nurse our own wounds. Sometimes I love the idea of us being messed up. You get me just as much as I don't get myself. You put me in this balloon of passion that I cannot escape, but you never rest from popping it, do you? Then you mend it, pop it, patch us, break us, build us. Surprise me with a bouquet of thorns and breakfast in a bed of dead roses. You massage my feet with fine wine and kiss my neck with rhythm and rhyme. You make me love and hate you. I love and hate you. I want to make aggressive love to you right now just as much as I want to stab you. You destruct and reconstruct my system in a split second. You suffer my perplexity to plain with nibbles and languages that only my skin and yours understand. Then you break me, heal me, destroy me, surprise me with a bouquet of roses and breakfast in a bed of thorns. Thank you. Right. So the next piece that I am going to do, I'm actually going to be reading the poem, and it is titled Inharmoniously. Right, so this is going to be my last piece, and it's titled Inharmoniously. Right. And it's about cancer, so definitely you're going to hear about that in the poem. But basically, it's about a lady who, didn't want to seek medical attention. And what I was trying to bring across is, when you've been diagnosed with certain things, seek medical attention, even when time is still there. That's something that's very important. She inharmoniously sings in accord with silence, for the codes of his love can no longer be decrypted. His love is war and rage that has aged her before her 52nd birthday. The joy of breathing is murdered cell by cell, second by second. The breath of life is sustained by tubes, for tumors have swallowed her ability to live independently of technology. She inharmoniously sings in accord with silence, somberly watching him uncontrollably drown her bones in cell multiplication. Terror flows in every vein till laughter sinks in the metastasis in a system. She blinks death as her grandchildren practice the laying of flowers on her grave. For this hospital ward has become a graveyard, bearing emotions that only tears can unveil. Time is an illusion that only her begins to understand. It requires 288,000. The doctor forces his tongue not to swallow those words that have already swallowed all their family wealth. She inharmoniously sings in accord with silence, watching her lover fondle her life so greedily. Rare to find is the exact number of stars his touch triggers galaxies to melt into sorrows. The heartbeat of this man silences heartbeats of man, a man of his word who vowed to love her to the bone. He will not die for her. Selfishly he cares to see her release her last breath. Yes, he loves her to death, but she relentlessly resents his love for her. For 2.5 years now, their home has been wrecked. A war zone, a void, cluttered with fist fights, traditional medicines and weight loss, bushes of hair loss and wigs to look more feminine, crutches to straighten the limp. Yet now the lamp is a fully grown malignant man, a nomad, leaving every site, bearing no fruit. She has nowhere to hide but within herself, yet her home is within her. Their home is her, and it is withering, fading into the darker spaces of the universe. His smile weathers hers. Hers is buried under regret of being in denial, denying herself to seek medical attention only till 6 months ago. But now the lamp is a fully grown malignant man. So she just inharmoniously sings in accord with silence. For the codes of his love can no longer be decrypted, and the tween's inheritance can no longer be inherited. For desperation to receive healing has swallowed all their family wealth. Her long 4C hair type and her ability to live independently of therapy, she inharmoniously sings in accord with silence and whispers to her heart, "It's time to rest now, for the codes of his love can no longer be decrypted. His love is war and rage, and she has lost this one." Thank you so much.
Oh wow! Thanks so much, Kim. That was amazing. Yeah, I told you, Christina, I need to learn how to do spoken word properly, and I think I have someone here to teach me. So yeah, I can this line that's the lamp is a fully grown malignant man. I mean, what else can you say? So thank you very much, Kim. Sorry, yeah, over to you, Christina.
Oh my goodness. I just wanted to add in my thanks here as well, Kim. That was incredible. And I just feel like your rhythm and your rhymes and your intention, and yeah, the imagery you use, I think it was so fantastic and very well suited for our celebration today. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. And I know you've got lots of wonderful comments in the chats too. I think you've got some good fans. Okay, so I'm going to pass over now to Kate, who's going to be introducing our last set of participant readers. So thank you for that.
Thanks, Christina. And just an epic thank you to Rufus and to Kim for what knockout performances. I found them really inspirational. I'm sure that the rest of the people watching have too. Yeah, thank you. So I'm really pleased to be introducing my set now. First up, we have a Welsh writer, Caris Phillips, reading 1, 2, 3, and it's a really powerful poem, really, that speaks about the potential for the world to rejuvenate on the back of human destruction.
Winter chill sets in, the blues, the greys, big coats, boots and scarves hold in the heat. Spring comes, flowers arrive, blossom and rise. Summer, summer of the sun heats up the air. The days extend, darkness is delayed, birthdays upon birthdays until the end of the summer days. As summer exits, the temperature drops, orange autumn appears. Red surroundings, leaves scatter and cover the grounds. Each season has a meaning, a memory, negative or positive. We face it yearly, monthly. Winter chill sets in, the new transition is about to begin. Number 2. Trees got greener, sea got cleaner, birds got louder, the glow got brighter, the earth had a glow when no one was there, time to repair, but as soon as we return, the glow gets dimmed. The bad habits of the human race were not binned fast enough. Number 3. Sea salt waves, sea salt smiles, green and brown palm trees as tall as the Eiffel, clean concrete roads that go for miles, thick air, heat moving between the buildings, bright blue clear skies, not one cloud in sight. Wide roads made with light lean grey, chairs seated at the side of the road, shops for shorts and shiny ornaments. Sea salt waves, sea salt smiles, the patient wait for the next wave to rise.
Wow, thanks, Caris. The patient wait for the next wave to rise. Beautiful and also sort of pregnant with meaning. Next, we have reading Regrets of a Failure, Gamuchirai and Gwenya. And although this poem is about regrets and about decisions made that maybe weren't the best, actions undertaken that you wish you hadn't, it ends on something more uplifting than that, I think, really, and it's a generous poem in which we have the benefit of experience and the offer of some advice. So now's the time to listen for some advice.
Of failure. Surely I've chosen the wrong route of life that led me to failing. Regrets have brainwashed me, and my heart is a small machine reflecting full memory. But where do I offload this heavy load inside of me? Oh no. I've become unbalanced a chemical equation. Like a poor dried leaf, I no longer photosynthesize. All my veins are out of chlorophyll. Are there good plans left for me? Oh no, I regret. I wish I could turn back days, but still, it's just a wish. Like a diluted acid, I'm powerless. My own beauty really fooled me. I regret the day my mirror was made. I hate you, love. All my high hopes and dreams have been shattered, all because of you. Love, I shouldn't have done that. I've become a paragraph full of wrong spellings. I used my energy to lose my dignity. I wasted all my potential, left with no force to resist the friction of failure. Oh, hell no. Like a storybook with missing pages, I'm useless. Oh, shame on me. Impregnated with the married man. Worst part of it, he's old enough to be called my grandfather. Oh, surely things have turned upside down. Surely water and oil never make a solution. Here's an advice. Follow your heart, not riches and gold. The sweet nothings of men has taken everything good about me. I've become a four-corner socket, trying hard to end a round plug. Oh no, I regret. Thank you.
That was a great performance, Gamachira. Thank you. Next up, we have Eunice, who's going to read her poem "Life is a Broken Leg Donkey." And again, this poem talks about tough realities, but there is a message of hope in it, I think. So that's Eunice Nyamzawo.
Life is a broken-legged donkey that can't run. Hold fast to dreams, for they die. Life is a fast lane. You wake up tomorrow and you meet your greatest despair. Don't compare your life to others, for there is no comparison between the sun and the moon. They shine when it's their time. No incredible change happens into thy life when you decide to hold on to dreams.
Thank you. That was a lovely reading. My next reader is going to be reading a couple of poems. Attilia is reading How Life Treats Rich and Poor People, and that's a poem really about blatant injustice, as we all observe, I think. And then she's going to read My Heart, which is a poem I very much enjoy. It expresses sort of admiration for the miracle, which is the human body, and specifically the organ of the heart. So, Attilia Mate Mandanda.
We all live differently and we are treated differently depending on who we are and what we have. And I'm gonna hint you on how life treats poor and rich people. Be poor and get yourself. A poor man is never respected. Even the atheist creatures do not value him. When he's lying under a tree, lizards use him as a bed, and so does everyone. In a meeting, he's not allowed to say a thing, even if his point is the most valuable. But be rich and everyone will love you, everyone will respect you, not even a fly dare to come close to you. A rich man coughs at a conference and everyone claps hands. My muscular double blood pump.
I hear the septum divided you into two halves. God knows best, for he placed you in a protective cage, a cage of ribs. Afterwards, he gave you two bodyguards, meaning the lungs. Oh, I almost forgot to tell your partner cardiac muscle. Do not be lazy. Do not procrastinate, or I will die. My heart, as a matter of fact, will perform wonders. But my heart, is it true? Are you capable of loving and hating? I heard you choose blindly and should not always be followed, because you sometimes lead to regret. Is it true, my heart? Anyway, I appreciate hard work. My heart.
Thanks, Attilia. In the first poem from Attilia there, that image of the rich man coughing in a conference and everyone clapping, that really struck me. Humorous, but also a very weighty point. So the next poem is, we're going to move to a completely different mood, really, and Isabel is going to read her poem "The Kitchen," in which she really celebrates her mastery in the kitchen, and an enjoyment of preparation of food. And to be honest, just reading it made me want to go around her house for dinner. Anyway, Isabel Mabheka, "The Kitchen."
Kitchen. I learn how to wipe the cups with care and to place them in the right order. I learn how to hold the jiggling glasses with no shiver in my tiny hands. I learn how to move my sharp knife to carve cute figures out of vegetables. I learn how to use salt and spices to yield yum dishes with flavor. I learn how to squeeze the untamed flour to form small spheres and to roll them down. I learn how to make these circles edible on a heated magic pan with my spatula wand. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to stick with the theme of food now, and but also the theme of love and food. I think probably two are the most suitable topics for poetry. Chantal's poem "Love Is in the Air" uh, is a she fuses romantic love and preparation of food so well in this. It's a real beauty. Chantal and Blovu.
Love is in the air. Finished making the fire on his gas stove, holding the silver shine spoon. Cloud but a warm atmosphere. Birds, sheep hymns. Sound of air conditioner provokes my eardrums. An apron over his torso. His full mustache is my crush. Chiseled beautifully by the barberman. A pat on my cheek makes my sorrow vanish into the air. Spaghetti and meatballs, my favorite. Sound of serving spoon drumming the pot fills the house. He dishes the food with expertise. Dancing with the sun in my mind as I await to feast. One successful bite, taste bud, best saliva like a volcano. Down my throat the food slides. I am newly married, ending of a hot day. On the back of the horse, greenest forest shrubs thrill.
Thank you for that taste of newlywed happiness. It was gorgeous. And thank you to all the readers for sending in their work, and to uh, everyone who's read today. Thank you so much. Christina, Goddess, would you like to join me?
Oh my goodness, I can hardly believe we're at the end of our launch now. It was so fantastic to hear all of those participants reading their work, and also to hear Rufus and Kim read. I'm feeling very inspired right now. So yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone. We've got a little bit of time now, so we thought what we would do is, first of all, I want to say if you liked what you heard today, if you enjoyed listening to these readings, then we encourage you to go download the When Women Write ebook, which is now available on Amazon in all countries where Amazon is available. I will put the link into our chat. Um, and this will be live. All of the chats that people have posted on our YouTube channel today. Thank you so much for all of them. They should be visible tomorrow. And so I will put the link here as well. So you can download the When Women Write ebook from Amazon. And if you can't wait until the link comes up, then just go ahead and search that on any Amazon page if you enjoyed listening to the girls today. I also wanted to just ask for both Goddess and Kate and myself, who has spent a long time on this project, and to all of the participants who are in the chat. I can see you coming through with lots of lovely messages. I just wanted to end by asking, what was the best part of this When Women Write project for you? What has stood out to you as the sort of best part of this? Goddess or Kate, do you have any thoughts? And participants, if you're listening, please feel free to write what you found the best part of this project to be.
Well, I'll start because I've definitely got something to say. I think there's a couple of things that I found best, which doesn't really make sense, but I'll say them both anyway. First off, that this was possible, that it happened, that Goddess reached out to Christina, and that this was managed to be organised in a time of pandemic and so many other difficulties, that Christina and Goddess actually ran the classes, that people took part in them. I think just the fact that it happened shows that it can happen again, and that it was a good idea and it is possible. So I think that's one massive thing. And then I've got another two things. One is that personally, when I got to see people develop their writing, and I could see like a tangible improvement and clarification of their ideas, that's so uplifting to me. So I can tell that the women and girls have developed and have grown through this process. And then thirdly, and very quickly, today, if all that time ago, when you came to me first with an idea, Christina, this woman called Goddess has been in touch with me, what do you think? I wouldn't have imagined that this would be the result of all these women and girls sharing these ideas and thoughts, and yeah, it's just brilliant. So all of those things from me, I think.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Kate. I'll hand over to Goddess, and it looks like we have some participants coming in the chat too, so I'll share those in a second. But Goddess, what did you find to be the best part of this project?
Yeah, it's more or less like what Kate said. When they started bringing in their work after all those 10 sessions that we did with them online, and then you could tell each one had a different voice, they had a different style. Yeah, it was really, sort of heartwarming for me to read, their work, and then the videos, and they started sending in the videos of them, reading out their work. And when someone is reading their own work, which they've really worked hard for, I found that quite heartwarming, and I really fell in love with it more with their work than before. So it really meant a lot, that they got to express themselves through both writing and then reading out and performing their own work. I think that was the best, part for me. And you, Christina?
Yes. Oh gosh, Goddess, I so agree. It is so actually very difficult to choose a best. As I said in the beginning in my introduction, we did this at a time of COVID, a time of isolation. So actually getting to meet people from far across the world, and being able to do that from our own homes and come together to talk about things that we were passionate about and have fantastic discussions in the workshop was just wonderful. I guess I wasn't expecting how moved I would be when I was pulling together the ebook. So one of my jobs was kind of ordering these pieces that were sent in, and just seeing the similarities and the themes and the way that the girls were speaking to each other, and how their work kind of created these really powerful conversations about identity and womanhood and pain, and just seeing those words kind of come into conversation with each other in the ebook itself was so fantastic. And like you said, Goddess, as each participant recorded themselves reading, Goddess was sending them to me via WhatsApp. So every day or every couple of days, I was getting these drip fed pieces, and I would just open my WhatsApp and see them read their work. And that just was such an incredibly powerful thing. And then today, we actually saw that all come together, which feels just. I'm so inspired. I'm so inspired by them, and I really hope that they just keep going with their writing. And speaking of which, we have one of our participants, Rhiannon Griffiths, who's put something into the chat, and I'll just read that out for us, because she has said that the amount that she's learned coming into this, knowing hardly anything, and the guidance that you all gave me as tutors was amazing, beyond my expectations. Thank you so much, Rhiannon. You've developed incredibly during this time, and if anybody here is excited to read Rhiannon's work, please check out the ebook, because she's got two fantastic poems in there, one using the Welsh language and another called I Am, which really explores what it means to be a woman in Wales. So thank you so much for that, Rhiannon, and thank you for the other things that are coming here in the chat. So yeah, I don't know if we want to add anything else, or if we can just do our final rounds of thank yous. Kate or Goddess, did you have any last minute things you wanted to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, can I go first, Kate? I just wanted to say, I'm really super proud of our writers, how hard they've worked. It hasn't been an easy road at all, especially with our online sessions, and the power cuts and the bad Wi-Fi and bad internet. But some of them really, really, worked hard. They did all they could to attend those sessions, even though it wasn't, luck wasn't on their side most of the time. And so I'm super proud of them, what they've brought up. I know some of them will keep on writing, and then we hope to see them published in, by themselves, or writing some novellas and stuff like that. So I'm super proud of you guys. If you're watching this, well done to you. Be proud of yourselves as well. You can do anything you want to do, and we saw it through this whole process. So thank you so much for making this project a success. And to you guys, and I cannot say this enough, you've been amazing. I've also learned a lot from you, and I'm looking forward to working with you in the next phase of our project called Where I'm Writing From. So it's bigger and better. So please just look out for whatever we're putting out on Facebook or on other social media platforms. So thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Goddess. Kate, did you want to have any last minute, any final words before we wrap up?
Just briefly, I think, Goddess and you have said it all really, but thank you to all the participants. You've made the project, and thank you to the British Council for supporting the project and funding it, and for funding phase 2. They obviously have belief in this as an idea and as a concept. So huge thank you for that, and then a massive thank you really to Christina and Goddess, because you've been the driving engines behind all of this. I've sort of been there in the background, tinkering away, supporting and doing small bits, but really this project has been about you two leading a group of women and girls in a very sort of inspiring way. So thank you for letting me be part of it.
Oh, we're so glad that you were.
Yes, we were. Totally amazing.
So yeah, I'm just gonna say a final thank you. I mean, from the sort of organizational point of view, I also really want to thank British Council Wales for giving giving us the funding for this project and believing in us, and for when, when we were struggling with like COVID and Wi-Fi's in Zimbabwe, and when we were dealing with recruitment, all kinds of things, they were always there for us, and they believed in us right from the start, and that gave us such motivation to really put our all into the project. So I'm really grateful to them, and really grateful to Cardiff Met, who's supporting all of us, and including me and Kate. And I think that this project has been really incredible, and I can't wait to start this second phase. So please keep an eye out for all of that. And just to every participant who has written, you are all really brave. What you wrote and what you shared, I feel like I've learned a lot from you as well, and found it very inspiring to be part of your journey. So yeah, I feel really grateful to have gotten to spend this time with you all of last year, but also today in the chat. And I just want to also say a big thanks to our live performers who joined us today, Rufus Mufasa and Afro Poetiq Mind. Thank you both. I'm going to add you to the stream, Rufus, so you can say a little hello and farewell before we finish up today.
Thank you all so much. Can I also do a shout out as well to People Speak Up Internationally for being just fantastic with this stuff, and really, really nurturing women's voices, and having a kind of insight into young people that just wanted to be involved with this. And I just think it's beautiful that, Kate, Christina, Goddess, and myself have just been working for the last 2 years with Zimbabwe and with Africa, and I think that is so special, and long may it continue, because this is how we really change things. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks to you, Rufus. Thank you so
Thank
very
you
much.
all so much.
All right, so I'm going to be ending the broadcast now. Thank you everyone who has joined us from all around the world today to watch this. You can watch it back. You can get the ebook. Please keep an eye out for our next project. This has been just an absolute delight, and we hope we will see you soon in similar events in the future. Farewell, everyone. Have a great afternoon, great evening. Bye.
Bye, everyone.